Hi, Beth. How are you?
Great. How are you, Kirsty? What's up?
I'm really good. It's great to speak to you. So tell me, will this trip out to New Zealand in July, will this be your first time out in this country?
Yes, it actually will be my first trip to New Zealand. We did Australia last year, and I did get the chance to hit a couple of, we did Sydney and Brisbane last year. But we didn't get a chance to hit New Zealand yet, so I'm super excited. This will be my first time.
Take us back to your time in OVW. How did you find the training there?
Well, I actually got a couple of connections there to where I met the owner, Danny Davis. Molly Holly, a former female wrestler, was a friend of mine, and she got me an opportunity for a tryout. I went down there and worked out in front of the head of the school, and he gave me an opportunity to come and train, but I didn't earn a WWE contract until a couple of years later. So I went down on my own dime and paid to train, just like several other of the lower classes of professional wrestlers.
Now, Santino Marella is not actually the first man that you've wrestled. In fact, if I've got my research right here, you defeated 14 men to win a battle royal in Canada a while back. Is that true?
This was before my WWE career. I traveled quite significantly throughout the States and Canada before I joined WWE, and the competition as far as women went was a little scarce in the areas that I wrestled, so oftentimes I mixed it up with the men.
And what do you think of it, getting to wrestle with the guys?
It's difficult and challenging, but most of all, I go into it, I'm usually underestimated. Most guys brush it off or want to laugh me off, and that becomes my greatest advantage because, they underestimate me and what I'm capable of, and that's when I can usually take an opportunity and show them who's the boss.
There's quite a bit of debate around intergender matches. What are your thoughts on them?
I'm the women's champion right now, and I'm very proud to represent the women's division, and myself, I will take on all contenders, and to me, that's male or female or whoever. But I understand the WWE's position on, keeping each division into their own, and I'm quite happy where I'm at, sitting on the top of the heap of the ladies. But, like I said, you never know in the future what guys may need to get schooled a little bit by the Glamazon.
For sure. You debuted on Raw, and then just a few weeks later you were injured. You broke your jaw. That must have been frustrating.
It was. Wrestling for Monday Night Raw was a lifelong dream for me, and it was over within 5 weeks. I can't imagine, a more heartbreaking story than that, for myself. And, but what happened basically was, I worked so hard to get there the first time that I wasn't about to let that slip away from, bad luck. So what I did was just set my mind to coming back badder and bigger and stronger and faster than ever before. And lo and behold, I got a second opportunity, and I made sure that time counted.
Yeah, awesome. Well, your second opportunity, you came back to Raw in July last year, and then in October, you defeated Candice Michelle for the title at No Mercy. Is being women's champion everything you thought it would be?
Absolutely. It was, a childhood dream of mine. I remember writing in a journal as a little girl, what I wanted to be when I grew up, and it was women's champion. I've always been focused on this in my life, and, it comes with great perks. I mean,
yeah.
You get treated, you get great treatment, you go into restaurants, you have free meals. I gotta say, life as champion's pretty good.
It must have been a bit scary, though, to see Candice Michelle take that nasty fall off the top rope.
It was, you never want to see, we all, live and die together. My peers are, they're all very hardworking, and you never want to see anybody injured like that. It was a very, very scary moment, and one that I hope to never relive again in my life.
Yeah. When you were in OVW, you worked with some women who are now in TNA, like ODB and Serena. What are your thoughts on TNA's Knockouts division?
I've wrestled just about everybody in their division aside from, I think, Amazing Kong, and their women's division, I know how tough those girls are, and I give them kudos for everything that they've accomplished, and I take a lot of pride in seeing women's wrestling develop and get bigger and better and get a greater fan base. So, the better they do, I'm so happy for them, and like I said, to the other girls that I've faced in the past, I know how tough they are, and who knows? Hopefully one day I'll get to face them again in the WWE.
For sure. Since you defeated Santino in July, you've been working with him in the Glamorella storyline. How do you keep a straight face when you're in the ring with him?
Well, unfortunately, Santino's antics usually leave me in a tough position. So I'm not always, while everybody else may find it amusing, unfortunately it usually leaves me to clean up the mess. So it's not always entertaining, but, you know, Santino is an amazing guy. He's so sweet off camera and just the most wonderful person you'd ever want to meet. And I'm very, very lucky to have him in my life. He's the one I've been looking for.
There seems to have been a shift in women's wrestling lately in WWE. The girls are not just eye candy anymore. It seems to be kind of harking back to the days of Trish Stratus, Lita, Molly Holly. Would you like to see women in WWE treated as serious athletes?
Absolutely. I mean, and you know, this shift in women's wrestling is completely, you know, attributed to how hard our girls are working. You know, none of the divas, a lot of our divas have come from modeling backgrounds and, you know, don't have a wrestling background, but they've come in like Kelly and Candice and Michelle, really busted their butts and putting in extra hours and, you know, going to the training school. And if you see these divas progress and get better and better and better, it's completely up to their own moxie and how hard they've been working. So, you know, I think the sky's the limit for the divas, and I'm totally looking forward to being a part of it and sitting on top of the whole pile, basically.
What's something that fans would be surprised to learn about Beth Phoenix?
I actually have an interesting fact. Is I I had a career briefly as a liturgical pianist, which basically means I was the accompanist for a church choir.
Oh, really?
And, I have a background in piano, and I played ever since I could read music before I could read words, actually. And I helped pay for my wrestling school education by playing for masses and weddings and funerals on the side.
That's so cool. So what does the future hold for Beth Phoenix?
Well, the future basically holds what I said when I came into WWE, and that's I want to continue to raise the bar for women's wrestling. I think, like I said, I've never put limitations on myself. I've never said, you know, this is where I'm going to stop progressing. I'm women's champion. That's it for me. Absolutely not. I feel the sky's the limit. And like I said, I want to retire one day and people to think of me as the girl that really, really changes standards for what a WWE diva should be.
Awesome. Well, Beth, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate you talking to us, and we can't wait to see you out here in July.
Me too. I'm so excited. Thank you so much, Kirsty. I appreciate it.